everyone, welcome to my channel Shellarty. Today I'll be bringing you a mini tutorial, and I'd once again like to thank all my subscribers for sticking with me, watching my videos, liking my videos and dropping me lovely comments. I really do appreciate it and I thank you all so much for it. So let's get on with the tutorial.
Okay, so on this part I need to change the look of the eye, so I use the Uniball Signo white pen for this, and I just put a light layer over the top of the line, and that will allow me to colour over the top of it. And all I've done to create the pupil in the middle is just use the black Uniball fine liner, which is great for adding lines or in this case creating pupils. So just go around each pupil with your white pen and just neaten off that edge and make sure it's dry before you start colouring on it. So I'm just going to blot this dry bit because it's not drying as quick as I want it to. And these are the pencils I'm going to be using. ARTEZA Egan Blue A106, Prussian Blue A142, Robin Egg Blue A044, and Dolphin Grey A148. And I'll be using my white Signo pen for highlights at the end. Okay, this eye that I'm going to show you now can be either used for a dragon or a cat's eye. It's entirely up to you. And we're going to start off with the Prussian Blue. And what we're going to be doing is starting off from the centre is where you mark your points from, and we'll be doing like a clock. And each point of the clock you'll just do your own squiggly kind of very fine delicate line at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then at 5 past, 10 past, 20 past, 25 past, and so on. And you'll do this all around the eye, and you'll be using a firm pressure here because you want it to be able to stand out, because you will be doing layers over the top of this. So once you've got all them parts in, then you should be good. Don't go all the way to the centre because you need to leave a highlight just outside of the pupil. So from the edge of the pupil, then you're dragging the lines towards the outside layer. So do exactly the same method, little tiny detailed lines towards the outer part of the eye. We're doing this still keeping quite a hard pressure as you're doing it. As you can see, I snapped the end of my pencil doing it, so you can see the kind of pressure that you need. You need it to make a mark. So now we're moving on to Egan Blue, and we're going to go in between each of the darker lines now, doing the same technique, small little jaggedy lines, however you want to do them. There's no way right or wrong for that. It's just your personal, so long as you're aiming your lines towards that centre of that pupil. If you do it outside of that, it will look wrong, so you need to keep that angle coming in towards the centre of the eye, and make sure that you're doing it all the way around, filling up them little gaps in between, still keeping a firm pressure whilst you do it. Trick here is just to make sure that you're getting a nice creative pattern that you would naturally see in the iris of an animal eye or a human eye. So just fill in areas where you think it might need that little bit more texture or character, where you think it might look a bit spacious. Put some very finer lines in with this colour. You must keep your pencil sharp. I can't stress enough, you will go through a bit of pencil doing these, but the quality that you get from doing it with sharp pencils makes it much more better for the viewing eye. So now we're going to go back with the Prussian Blue and just going to put some very fine lines all the way around the edge. This is just building up your outer edge of the eye and giving it some definition now. Just keeping your pressure quite light to medium. We don't want to be too hard here, it's just to give it that shadow around the edge. And then again, doing it around the edge of the pupil, making sure that you're keeping your highlight just at the edge of that pupil because we want that to stand out as well. Once you've gone all the way around, as you can see, it's giving that definition shape towards the inner part of the eye and the outer part, and give a nice little halo shadow, halo highlight around the middle. Now we're going to go over all of it with the robin egg blue, a very, very light hand with this. You don't want to pile it on heavy because you will ruin the work you've just done. Then we're just going to do the very middle highlight with the dolphin grey. That's just a bit more of a firmer pressure on this bit because you want that to stand out. Then we'll go back to the robin egg blue and we'll go over the whole of the eye. Again, make sure that you're only doing a very light layer again. Maybe leave a little few gaps in between. We might fill that with the grey just to give it a bit of contrast within the eye, that it's not all just completely blue. We'll get our dolphin grey now and we'll just fill in those little white gaps we've left in the iris, and that just gives it that little bit more definition that you're after. And as you can see, that's give it a really nice definition now, and the eye is starting to represent a really good iris. We're now going to go in with the Prussian blue. And we're going to go around the outer edge of the eye, just lift up them lines again, just in case any of them have been wiped out a bit with the other layers, and just bring the definition back. Just be very careful here because you don't want to go over any new parts, just go over the ones that you've already done. And these extra touches just give you that bit more quality to your work. Just keep your pencil sharp. So I'm just going to sharpen this one. So just keep them sharp, but don't press on too hard. You snap it off like I've done many a times with this colouring today. But like we said, just need to put some definition in that iris just to make it more personalised really. Where you'll put your own stamp on it. You can either copy how I've done it, or you can put your own little pattern in there. It's up to yourself. But just so long as you get these dark, see, too hard again. So long as you get these hard, deep lines within the iris, that's what we're aiming for. And I just use a brush to brush off my bits. I don't want to blow or smear it off my page, or else you can make pencil marks from the bits that broke off. And again, we're just going to do the other side as well, just so that matches. And then we're going to go in with the Egan blue and redefine them lines as well. All this work, even though you've already done it, it just gives it more layer and more depth. It's not a wasted effort, it just gives you good quality work at the end when you go over it with plenty of layers. And as you can see now, the eye is becoming more and more defined. Then we're going to go back in now with the Prussian blue. We're going to go round the edges and deepen that edge. So we want to make it look like the eye's standing out now. So you do that by just putting a really firm layer around the edge of the eye on both sides where the eye's visible. And then once that line is defined to your liking, how it looks okay on paper, we want to just put a little blend line by doing tiny little circles around the edge, and that will allow you to blend it in with the next colour. Just tiny little circles like I'm doing here. And as you can see now, the eye is starting to pop out. We're going to go back in with the Egan blue. And with that blend line, we're just going to make just a bit more definition by blending that in. Just be very light with your layers, because you don't want to get rid of the pattern you've just created underneath. but this just finishes the eye off. It gives it that nice definition that we're after. And like I said, this look can be done for dragons, it can be done for cats, any that's got this kind of eye shape. Now we're just going to finish off with the robin egg blue and just cover over that highlight that you've created in the middle of the iris. And very, very light layer over the highlighted bit at the side of the pupil. And that's just to blend the grey and the blue together. Just brush off any excess pieces. And just neaten off that edge with the dolphin grey. Now we're going to go back in with the black Uniball fine liner and redefine that pupil, just in case there's any of the colour got on there that you don't want on there. Just be very careful at this point, you don't want to ruin what you've just done. So a steady, slow hand is what you want here. Don't be rushing in. Just let that dry off again. Because if you put the white Signo pen on, it will turn it grey. So just make sure it's completely dry before you use the white pen. And then just put random little dots where you think the highlights will be there. This is a big wide eye, so there won't just be a dot in the middle. So that's why I've spaced mine out in the middle. And I've put edging around the edges where the light would catch, where the eyeball rounds off, to give it that effect that it's standing out. And once you've got, if it doesn't seem white enough, just go over the top like I've just done. And that's the eye finished. And I hope you like that tutorial. I will do the other one as we'll just put music on and let you watch that be done without me talking. I'll speak to you soon. Okay, that's all finished. I hope you like the finished look, and I hope that you'll find that easy to follow along. If there's anything else you would like to see me colour, please drop me a comment or email me. Everything you'll need for that will be in the description. So give me a message, and if I can do it, I'll certainly try. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.